Hey everyone, welcome to another Mastering the Draw license application video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Arizona and the different species they have, some of the different draws that they have or over the counter, and we'll roll through license requirements, dates and deadlines, because they have a few different application deadlines available for different species. Some of them have a couple different. So we'll touch on all of those in this video. So the first part, we'll talk about what species. Now, Arizona doesn't discriminate between resident and non-residents. For the most part, if they have a hunt for it, they allow both residents and non-residents to apply for it. Obviously, they have different quotas, but we'll touch on that in another video. So for Arizona, you have desert bighorn and Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep. The one thing to remember about that is they only allow one sheep application. Now, they allow you two choices on that application, so if you want to, you can apply for desert and Rocky, or you can apply for both desert or both Rocky. But remember, if you apply and don't draw and you're awarded a point, it's a sheep point. You can use that for either species. So they don't have two separate applications for each species. They have bison, elk, mule deer, Coues deer, and mule deer and Coues deer is the same thing as sheep. It's a deer point, it's a deer application. You know, same thing, you can apply for both on the same one if you're two hunt choices, or put both hunt choices toward either, towards one of those species. So they also have pronghorn antelope, javelina, and black bear. Now we'll talk about draw versus over the counter. So Arizona has a couple species that they offer both. Their draw tags are typically just for better areas or better dates. If they have over the counter hunts, like specifically like for elk and javelina, typically, those hunts for those two species, if they're over the counter, are for areas that have fewer elk or fewer javelina, fewer animals in general. For elk, they're mostly concentrated to smaller regions within a unit, and typically that has to do with depredation. You know, their javelinas, similar thing. They do have an over-the-counter archery tag that has a lot bigger spread, and you can hunt entire units, but it's in low population areas. For their deer, they have over-the-counter archery deer, and it's a really good tag, actually. You can hunt around 70 to 80% of the state, and it's in either species. It just has to be an antler deer. So that's a great tag. There's a lot of opportunity there. There's 3 different seasons. For black bear, all of their draw and over-the-counter hunts are regulated by female harvest quota, so just be aware of that. If you do buy a general bear tag, once that female harvest quota is reached, the tag's invalid, no different than the draw. You have a draw tag, but once that female harvest quota is reached, that tag is invalid. So those are the both draw and over-the-counter species. For the draw-only species, and this is bighorn sheep, pronghorn, and bison, there's no over-the-counter tags for these animals. Everything is on a draw basis only, so you just got to get lucky or have a pile of points. And so your license requirements for Arizona are as follows. You have to purchase a 365-day hunt fish license in order to apply for the draw, but you also have to have that license in order to hunt out in the field. So where it becomes a little bit tricky is your hunt license, like says 365 days a year, so if you buy that in March 10th, it'll go till March 9th the following year. Just make sure you have a valid license if you draw a tag, like for elk and antelope, and that expires by the time your hunt comes up. You have to make sure and purchase another hunting license, because you have to carry that while in the field hunting. So the 2 different types of tags we have are hunt permit tags and non-hunt permit tags. The difference is any tag that you draw is a hunt permit tag. Any tag that you go in and buy over the counter is a non-permit hunt tag. So keep in mind, those are the 2 different types of tags. It's kind of a formality, but I just wanted you to be aware of the 2 different types of tags. So now we're going to move into the dates and deadlines, and as we touched on earlier, they have different deadlines. Arizona has 3. The first one that's coming up is the elk and antelope draw, and that deadline typically is the first part of February. The results will be posted by April. The next deadline you get into is the deer, sheep, bison, and javelina. Now for javelina, that's points only for adults. They do have a few youth hunts in there, but typically that's the first part of June is the deadline. The results are posted by the end of July. It's a pretty quick turnaround if you have archery deer. once you roll into the next one, it's important because if you were an adult and you picked up a point, you will now have an extra point for javelina. You can also put in for a point for bison if you want that spring bison hunt. So you can also do a point for bison and javelina in the previous draw. That way you can get 2 points a year, or you can roll into that next draw period, which is typically the deadline's the 1st of October, and those results will be posted by the 1st of December. But all of those are spring hunts, and they start from January and move throughout. So that concludes this video for today. We also have another video that goes over the different draw systems and what the allocation is, things like that, that'll dive into more of the draw statistics wise as far as Arizona. We'll have that as well. So I hope you found this video informational, helpful. Remember that if you are a member of Huntin' Fool, you can call in and talk to us, and we can help you out with any of these questions on Arizona or any of these other western states as far as their draw or species, and help you get lined out. If you don't have time, or if it's a little bit too much for you at this point, we do have a license application service that we can handle all of your license application needs. We'll go ahead and apply for you. We do one-on-one conversations and go through exactly what you want out of your application strategy, and we can help you out with that. So, as always, if you like this video, remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching.